Good morning, YouTube. It's still raining. It's Tuesday morning. Hey everyone out there, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. We're doing pretty good. Look at that gorgeous sight of the sun. What a beautiful sight to see. Especially after it rained for so long. It rained from 7 p.m. to 9 a.m. and everything is soaked. All the wood is wet. Making a fire this morning is going to be challenging. But with the use of Vaseline cotton balls, it's going to be a whole lot easier. Just to give you an idea how much rain fell over that period of time. This is our barbecue pit here. And it's about, it has about 3/4 of an inch of water in here. So roughly, what is that, like 9 hours of rain? Everything is just soaked. But we're going to have coffee on in a jiffy, don't you worry. Alright YouTube, here we have our wood all set up here, and as always when I talk about the 4 sizes of wood, I have the smallest pile, which is here, my next largest pile, larger pile yet. And when I talk about wood size, I'm talking about diameter of the piece of limb that I'm using. So, and the reason why I do this is because we want to get a hot bed of coals going before we get to the big wood to keep our fire going and to cook our coffee for today. So I'm looking forward to that. So without any other delay, let's get started with our coffee. Alright YouTube, we are getting our morning coffee ready, and I'm going to build a fire for our percolator so we can get coffee going this morning. So what I'm going to do in this corner of the pan, I'm going to show you how I'm going to get this fire going. And I'm going to be using Vaseline cotton balls and a lighter. Okay, a lot of people ask me, well Kaz, why do you use a lighter sometimes when you start a fire? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but this lighter is a part of my bug out bag. Alright, the reason why I use a lighter is because there's about a 90% chance that I'm going to get a flame from this. Okay, there was a 50% chance. The first time it didn't work, the second time it did. So, with this being a sure fire, and everything being as wet as it is, if I'm in a survival situation, I want to make sure I get this fire going now. Okay? Granted, I could use a ferrocerium rod, or I could use a spindle to create a fire, or there's other things I could use to create a fire. Okay? And those are great when times are a little bit drier. But when it's wet like this, I want to use something that's a sure fire. If the wood is wet, and use a Vaseline cotton ball, I want to make sure that I get a good fire going to get this wet wood going. Otherwise, if it wasn't so wet, I would probably use a ferrocerium rod, or I would use the spindle technique or some other technique to create a fire when times are good and easy to make a fire. But right now, I'm going to use a lighter. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the corner here, and I'm going to create an angle of wood so I can create a base for my Vaseline cotton ball. I'm using this half of the small stuff right now to create a nice bed for the Vaseline cotton ball. Now I'm going to light the Vaseline cotton ball and use the rest of the wood. And again, see how quickly that starts? It starts right up. Now I'm going to lay the wood from the corner onto the bed. I don't need to be real fast about it. That's going to burn for at least 5 minutes. And now with this next layer, I'm going to continue on with what I'm doing. I cut these a little bit longer to get a little longer of an angle. I'm sure you can hear the wind blowing. It's pretty chilly out here this morning. Right now it's about 55 degrees, and some of the wind that is held up in the trees, the wind is blowing and knocking that water back to the ground. Okay, it looks like I got a good base here, so what I'm going to start doing now is laying some of these sticks across the way. This is a great way to get a fire started when your wood is wet. Vaseline cotton balls and crisscross your wood to create a nice base. And again, this fire is taking a long time to grow because of the wood is so wet. But as you can see, with the fuel of the Vaseline cotton ball, I have no problem creating this fire. And again, if you notice, I cut these branches even longer. I don't know if you guys can see, but back here I got a great start back here with that small stuff that's on fire, and it's building up through the crosshatch of layers that I have. And it's a great way to give your fire oxygen. And it's also what it's going to do, it's going to dry out this stuff, so when I get to my bigger stuff that I got left, I'm going to have a good base here to get coffee going this morning. But it's going slow because the wood is wet. It rained, like I said, for 8-9 hours, so this stuff is soaked. So for how slow it's going, but how well it's going, I'm real happy with this. As you can see, this fire is really starting to take off now, but still, it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn here, and that's because the wood is so wet. But we're doing really good. I'm real happy with the results here. And again, all this off of one Vaseline cotton ball. If you build your fire right, it will burn. That one was hot. Don't do that. Alright YouTube, and after a little tending to the fire, as you do with every fire, and especially with this one because everything is so wet, from one Vaseline cotton ball using wet wood, this definitely did take some time, but I got a great base here, and once all that stuff burns down into hots, we'll be able to keep the fire going, and we'll have coffee on. But wet wood definitely takes some time to get going, but again, one Vaseline cotton ball, a little bit of patience, a little bit of tending to the fire, and it can be done. Alright YouTube, so there we have it. We finally got coffee on. Total time from start to gathering the wood to getting coffee on was probably about 45 minutes. Again, not bad with wet wood and one Vaseline cotton ball. Have a good day.